From losing their biggest star to ignoring the original books, The Witcher Season 3 teaser has been met with massive backlash. Fans are not happy with the latest news about The Witcher, and it seems that it'll make a classic mistake that so many shows make these days before ever reaching Netflix. The Witcher was a series of novels and short stories written by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. Sapkowski wrote 15 short stories starting in 1986.
What drew you to want to create The Witcher?
For me, it is a great mystery of life. It was some impulse, something that came out of the sky, and then becoming a full-time writer was something that I never imagined.
And then 6 novels throughout the 90s. In 2013, Sapkowski wrote the final installment of the series, a standalone prequel titled Season of Storms. The author created a mind-blowing world of action and fantasy in a land simply known as the Continent. The Witcher quickly became a cult classic, but the franchise became even more popular with the release of the first video game in 2007. And the games eventually became an even bigger success than the novels. In fact, they're still going strong with modern consoles, and many more are expected to be announced. However, despite its literary and gaming fame, The Witcher had only been brought to the screen in Poland, both as a standalone film and a short TV show back in 2002. Obviously, Netflix saw the franchise as an absolute goldmine. But as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility, and Netflix was under enormous pressure to create something that could live up to extremely high standards. And somehow, they did it. Fans didn't know what to expect, but when Season 1 of The Witcher was released in 2019, it was fantastic. Those who doubted Henry Cavill's performance were proved wrong. After the Superman star successfully captured the spirit of the novels and put on an amazing performance. The other key reason for the positive reaction is that the series stayed true to the source material. Season 1 of The Witcher starts off with the original stories, and the season accurately represented the second and third story collections. Of course, this is always a huge demand when you remake a cult classic. Always stay faithful to the original. Sadly, by Season 2, things started going wrong. The second season of The Witcher was based on the short stories in the first 2 novels. The second season saw some big improvements in some aspects. Geralt had a lot more lines. The aesthetics of the characters were much more in line with the lore, including hair and clothing. And Season 2 had a single timeline, making it much easier to follow than the first season. However, the writers started to take some big creative liberties with the original story, and Season 2 deviated from the source material. As you might expect, hardcore fans went crazy and felt way too much had changed. From changing the character of Eskel to Fringilla replacing Gondor Dim in the terrifying scene where she kills her frozen opponents. On the other hand, fans who had only watched the Netflix show were happy with Season 2. Some fans who had read it accepted that the material wasn't easy to deal with. Why? Well, the first of the novels, titled Blood of Elves, is very dialogue-heavy, lacks significant action, and makes it hard to translate to the screen. This meant that the writers had to juggle hard material to put on a good show. In any case, fans seemed to agree. Respecting the original material was a must. In 2022, the creators of the show announced a prequel miniseries titled The Witcher: Blood Origin. It consisted of 4 episodes set 1,200 years before the events of the show, and it's fair to say that it was a disaster. It had some great action scenes, featured a brilliant cast, and even included recent Oscar-winning actress Michelle Yeoh. But this time, they strayed too far from the story and the lore of the franchise. Once again, viewers who weren't fans of the books were more forgiving, but hardcore fans were furious. All that leads us to the 3rd season, which is set to be released this summer. Fans are skeptical, but showrunner Lauren Hissrich insists that Season 3 would be true to Sapkowski's work, because this time they'd be focusing on the second novel, the action-packed Time of Contempt. Lauren says, obviously we can't do every page, but Time of Contempt gave us so many big action events, plot points, defining character moments, and huge reveals of a big bad. There's so much to do that we were able to stick really closely with the books. At that point, most fans breathed a sigh of relief, because it seemed Netflix Netflix would be providing some great lore-based content. However, the relief soon ended when some terrible news was announced. After season 3, Henry Cavill is leaving. This was huge news, and many agreed that Cavill's performance was one of the strongest aspects of the show. Also, Cavill was a massive fan of the original work and the video games. He even begged to be cast for the show when he found out it was happening. There's even rumors that Cavill had agreed to do as many as 7 seasons for the show, but only if the source material was respected. So obviously the fact that Cavill's leaving after just 3 seasons seems to suggest the opposite. The actor made his departure public on his Instagram page and said, "My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I will be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4. In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf." That's right, Liam Hemsworth. Fans aren't happy about that one, but hey, people weren't convinced of Cavill either until they actually saw him. So, who knows? At least Hemsworth has Cavill's blessing. But he also seems excited. Hemsworth said, "As a Witcher fan, I'm over the moon about the opportunity to play Geralt of Rivia. Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure." But whatever happens, fans will always associate the character with Cavill, and many have said that they refuse to watch after the 3rd season ends. Sadly, things don't seem to be improving. While the writer announced last year that the show would remain faithful, this might not have been entirely true. 2 members of the VFX team said, "It's like the novels are the guidebook, but not the Bible by any means." They even went on to say that it would feature never seen or read material. And although it seems they were boasting about creating exclusive content, this didn't go down well with the fans, who say that's exactly the problem. They don't want things they haven't read before. They want things that they've read before and stay true to the story. Many have taken to Twitter to protest these statements, with one fan saying, "Never seen or read before" equates to Lauren Hissrich doubling down on straying from the source material and adding no value whatsoever to The Witcher as a whole. Many have even accused the team of using the Witcher name to make whatever they want as a way to gain attention. But the truth is, we won't really know until we get to see the show this summer. After all, the main screenwriter has promised to be faithful. And these quotes are coming from the VFX guys, who could just be boasting about the quality and not really referring to the actual script. So, there you have it, ladies and gents, from losing their biggest star to ignoring the original books. That's why The Witcher Season 3 teaser release has been met with such massive backlash.